In our fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with information and demands on our attention. From social media notifications to the never-ending news cycle, it can feel impossible to find a moment of peace. We often feel pressured to be constantly available and responsive to others, leaving little room for ourselves. However, there is a growing recognition of the importance of setting boundaries and prioritizing our own well-being. This means learning to say no to demands on our time and energy that do not serve us. It means being selective about who we allow into our lives and how much of ourselves we give away. Ignoring people in this context does not mean being rude or disrespectful. It simply means choosing to focus our energy on what truly matters to us. This might mean silencing our phones, declining invitations, or politely excusing ourselves from conversations that are not serving us. By creating this space for ourselves, we can begin to find the peace and clarity we need to thrive. We can reconnect with our own needs and desires and focus on what brings us joy. When we constantly prioritize the needs of others, our own personal growth can suffer. We may find ourselves stuck in patterns of behavior that no longer serve us, or we may neglect our own passions and interests. Ignoring people in a healthy way can be a powerful act of self-care. It allows us to create the space we need to reflect on our lives, set personal goals, and pursue our interests without distractions. This might mean taking some time for ourselves each day to read, meditate, or simply relax. It might mean saying no to social engagements that we don't feel up to attending. It might mean spending time alone in nature, engaging in creative pursuits, or simply doing nothing at all. By prioritizing our own needs, we give ourselves permission to grow and evolve as individuals. We create the space for new possibilities to emerge and for our authentic selves to shine through. In today's world of constant distractions, it can be challenging to focus on the task at hand. From emails to social media notifications, there is always something vying for our attention. This lack of focus can lead to decreased productivity, increased stress levels, and a sense of overwhelm. Learning to ignore distractions, including those posed by other people, can be crucial for improving our focus and productivity. By creating boundaries and setting aside dedicated time for work or other important tasks, we can minimize interruptions and give our undivided attention to the matter at hand. This might mean turning off our phones, closing unnecessary tabs on our computers, or finding a quiet space where we can work without interruptions. It might also mean setting expectations with others about our availability and communicating our need for focused work time. When we're able to focus our attention fully, we tap into our true potential. We are more likely to produce high-quality work, solve problems effectively, and feel a sense of accomplishment. Not all interactions are created equal. Some relationships can be draining, negative, and even toxic. These relationships can have a significant impact on our mental and emotional well-being, leaving us feeling depleted and discouraged. One of the most important aspects of self-care is learning to identify and set boundaries with toxic individuals. This might mean limiting our interactions with them, declining their invitations, or even ending the relationship altogether. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if we're used to putting the needs of others before our own. However, it is crucial for protecting our own well-being and creating a positive and supportive environment for ourselves. By learning to say no to toxic interactions, we create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships to flourish in our lives. We free ourselves from the emotional burden of these negative relationships and open ourselves up to the possibility of connecting with people who uplift and inspire us. Lessons from Successful Introverts. The idea of ignoring people might seem counterintuitive, especially in a society that often values extroversion and sociability. However, many highly successful individuals have attributed their achievements, in part, to their ability to tune out distractions and focus on their own path. Take, for example, Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft. Gates is known for taking extended retreats, during which he disconnects from the outside world to read, think, and generate new ideas. These periods of solitude have been instrumental in his ability to innovate and lead one of the world's most successful technology companies. Similarly, J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, credits much of her creative process to solitude. Rowling famously wrote the first Harry Potter book while struggling financially and raising her child as a single mother. It was during these periods of relative isolation that she was able to tap into her imagination and create the magical world that captivated millions of readers worldwide. These examples illustrate that success is not always about being the loudest voice in the room or constantly seeking external validation. Sometimes it's about having the courage to step back from the noise, to listen to our own inner voice, and to focus on what truly matters to us. In the age of social media, it's easy to feel like we're constantly missing out on something. Whether it's a party, a trip, or simply a night out with friends, we're bombarded with images and stories of other people's seemingly perfect lives. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and a constant need to keep up with the crowd. However, what we often don't see on social media are the downsides of this constant pursuit of experience. The truth is, saying yes to everything can be just as draining as being constantly connected to our devices. It can leave us feeling exhausted, overstimulated, and disconnected from our own needs and desires. Learning to say no to some invitations and opportunities can be incredibly liberating. It allows us to reclaim our time and energy and to focus on what truly brings us joy. It also gives us the opportunity to rest and recharge, which is essential for our mental and physical well-being. Embracing the joy of missing out means letting go of the need to do everything and be everywhere. It means giving ourselves permission to slow down, to simplify our lives, and to savor the present moment. Invest in what matters. Our energy is our most valuable resource. It is finite and needs to be managed carefully. When we spread ourselves too thin, trying to please everyone and be everything to everyone, our energy becomes depleted and we have little left to give to the things that truly matter to us. Learning to ignore certain people and situations can be seen as a way of prioritizing our energy. By saying no to energy-draining interactions, we free up our time and emotional resources to invest in the people and activities that bring us joy, purpose, and fulfillment. This might mean spending more time with loved ones, pursuing a passion project, or simply taking some time for ourselves to relax and recharge. It might also mean setting boundaries with work or other obligations to ensure that we have enough energy left over for the things we value outside of those commitments. By being mindful of how we expend our energy, we can make choices that support our overall well-being and allow us to live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. Happiness and productivity through strategic ignorance. While it may seem counterintuitive, learning to ignore people and situations that do not serve us can actually lead to increased happiness and productivity. By setting boundaries, prioritizing our well-being, and focusing on what truly matters, we create the conditions for a more fulfilling and meaningful life. When we are no longer bogged down by the demands and negativity of others, we free up mental and emotional space for creativity, joy, and personal growth. We're better able to focus on our goals, pursue our passions, and build strong, healthy relationships with people who support and inspire us. Furthermore, by learning to say no to distractions and time wasters, we become more productive and efficient in all areas of our lives. We are able to accomplish more in less time, leaving us with more freedom to enjoy the things we love. Ultimately, the goal of strategic ignorance is not to become cold or uncaring. Rather, it is about being selective with our energy and attention so that we can show up fully for ourselves and the people who matter most to us. In a world that often celebrates extroversion and constant connectivity, embracing the power of quiet and strategic ignorance can feel like a radical act. However, it is a necessary act of self-care and self-preservation in a world that is constantly demanding our attention and energy. By learning to set boundaries, prioritize our well-being, and focus on what truly matters, we can create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. We can cultivate deeper connections with ourselves and others, tap into our creativity and potential, and experience a level of peace and contentment that is often elusive in our fast-paced world. The journey to a more fulfilled life begins with a single step: the decision to reclaim our time, energy, and attention, and to invest them in the things that bring us joy, purpose, and connection. It is a journey that requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to challenge societal norms. However, the rewards are well worth the effort. Embrace the quiet revolution, listen to your inner voice, create the space you need to thrive. The world will be waiting when you're ready.